Okay, let's take this forward, the August auto sales numbers and also the outlook for the sector at large. Joining in is Ashwin Patil of LKP Securities. Ashwin, of course, tracks the sector very closely. Hi, Ashwin. Morning. Thanks very much for joining in. This month, what is it that's standing out for you more? Is it the slowdown in the CVs or the expected continued rise in the PV sales?
Well, the PV sales have been the star performer of the month, as we all have seen. The order backlog is very strong. The new launches that the companies have been doing, they are panning out well for them. And I think that this momentum should continue at least till the festive season ends. That is by November or by December. I think the PV sales should do well, and after that there should be a big leap in the numbers because the chip shortage issue is getting sorted out, and I think that by the festive season most of that should get sorted out. At least 85 to 90% of it should be resolved, and post that the order backlog that the companies are having, they should be able to cater to them quite easily. And therefore FY23 and 24 should see a very good a growth in the PV sales on an overall basis. So that's a top performing sector within the auto industry, I would say. Then the second, highlight, I would say that, maybe the CVE sales getting slowed down in the month of August. That trend may continue going forward also, because the H2 of FY22 saw some sort of rebound in the CV numbers, and therefore on the high base of second half of FY22, I think the numbers should slow down a bit in the second half of FY23. But on an overall basis, FY23 should be a good year for CVs, because the fleet utilization rates are improving, the freight rates are moving up, the infrastructure, the agricultural demand, everything is moving up. So I think that there is nothing to worry as such because of the slowed down sales numbers in the month of August. Maybe because the base was a bit high last year. So as I said, second half may see some sort of slowdown in the CV sales growth, but overall FY23 should be quite a good year for them. Then on the two wheelers, it was not a surprise, because we have seen exports declining, quite heavily since the month of June or July, because of the Nigerian underperformance and the weakening of Nigerian naira over there, and the retail, this demand is also moving down. And Nigeria is a very big, contributor to the exports of like Bajaj Auto or TVS, and that's why this kind of sales numbers are seen. But the most heartening thing is the domestic two-wheeler numbers that we have seen. The demand is moving up. Things are coming back to normalcy. The COVID is behind everybody now, the sentiments are improving. So after 2 bad years, I think this year is quite a joyful year for the two-wheelers, I would say. So this year, even two-wheelers will be reporting quite good kind of numbers in FY23. And I think the trend should continue in FY24 as well, with the EV scooters getting launched and overall demand coming up with new launches from their stable. So I think it's overall the numbers were not that bad as they are, portrayed for the month of August. But there were some little bit concerns because of the high base, etc., and the exports because of Nigeria. Otherwise, the numbers were, good according to me.
Ashwin, hi, morning. Getting into the specifics about individual companies. Now, Tata Motors was a big outperformer last year as well as at the beginning of the year. But since then, it's just fallen off the cliff. And now, on a year-to-date basis, M&M is up 58%, Maruti is up 22%, but Tata Motors is down 3%. What explains this kind of an underperformance, and do you think there is scope for it to reverse? How is the risk-reward looking, particularly for Tata Motors, post the recent underperformance?
See, Tata Motors is in a different league altogether, because Maruti and M&M are both majorly domestic players, but Tata Motors, a big chunk comes from JLR, which is always under some sort of pressure from either of the countries where it is operating. Like in China, you never know when the COVID upsurge, emerges once again. And even in Europe and UK, because of the slowdown in the economy over there, and some concerns, in the rest of the world countries as well. Because of that, Tata Motors is always under pressure. But domestically, even if they perform well and even better than its peers, I think the more focus is on JLR, because that's a major contributor. About 90% of its profitability comes from JLR, and therefore I think that's the major setback. I won't say setback, but one thing which is pulling it down at any given point in time. So one geography is performing while the other is not. That's the trend given at any point in time, and therefore I think Tata Motors is one of the underperformers that we have seen over the past 1 year.
All right. Hi, Ashwin. Good morning and thanks for joining us. If I can also ask you about the tractor sales that we've seen. I mean, I know we had a delayed monsoon, but do you think that this is something that maybe the numbers will now start reflecting in perhaps the September sales?
See, Tata Motors, the tractor sales, I would say that, there has been some concern over the spread of monsoon, like in some of the eastern states, like UP and Bihar, etc., eastern MP and all, which contribute more about, a big number, like 20 to 25% of, the tractor sales in India, and which is a major paddy growing region for India. I think that is one of the concerns why the tractor sales are not performing well. But as we all know that in those regions the monsoon is aggressive only in the second half of the overall monsoon period, that is August September. So we can definitely hope that any revival over there should help the tractor sales to move up. But otherwise, on a higher base of last year, and the farm area that is under cultivation is also expanding. So I think that there is some sort of steam left in the tractor sales, but nevertheless, I would be expecting the tractors to post close to about 3 to 4% kind of growth only in this year.